And good afternoon, baseball fans, Strat-O-Matic fans. It's time once again for Strat-O-Matic Baseball 1966 full season replay, of course. We've got a lot of things to get to today, so I'm going to jump right into it. Game 496 on the season. We're approaching that 500 mark. And we're also moving on to June the 8th on the schedule. Doubleheader. Washington at Baltimore. This is the opening game of the doubleheader. We'll play the nightcap tomorrow. Greetings to Frank, Thomas, Ron McGrath is here. Hello, Ron. How is everybody doing? Frank's pre-play, Baltimore 3, Washington 1. Lefty Pete Rickard on the mound for the Senators. Righty Jim Palmer, the young Jim Palmer, 20 years old, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from 1966. The second of a 4-game series, +1. This is that weird one, just to remind you. We played one game, Baltimore at Washington. The next day, they jumped over to Baltimore for 4 games, Senators at Orioles. They've each won 1 game. Yeah, I don't know whether to call it a 5-game series or a 4-game series. I mean, it's really a 4-game series. I assume that the Baltimore at Washington was a makeup game. And there is Frank's question once again. I haven't seen it, I don't think. Hard to say, Frank. As many thousands of games as I've played, I suppose it's possible. Anybody else? I also wanted to get to yesterday's game. I printed it out. Okay, here's the score sheet from the Windows version of the Strat-O-Matic game. And I was thinking about this yesterday. We left Gibson in fatigued in the 9th inning. Well, heck, let's just flip it over. We can look at the whole thing. Basically, I guess my question to you guys is, did I do the right thing, leaving him in fatigued? He faced 3 batters fatigued. The reason I bring this up is because the final results did hurt Gibson's earned run average, and I'm kind of a stats nut. So I felt a little bit bad about that. By the same token, leading by 11 runs at the time, I don't think it's at all unrealistic that Gibson would have not come out of the game. Anyway, you could go either way on that. Hang on a second, something weird has popped up on my screen here. It's that damned co-pilot, you know what I mean? Hello, Bob Barrow. And Ben has joined us as well. Hello, Ben. I think I said that already. So I guess then my question is, I shouldn't be so concerned about the statistics. To put it another way, let me go back to let me go to my National League stats here for a minute. Let me go down to earned run average. That start, a dominant start really by Gibson, it did knock him out of the top 12 in the league in ERA. Yeah, I agree with all of you, really. Just something that crossed my mind. At the end of the day, I'm in complete agreement with what I did, and with all of you. Single, fly out, walk, single, that's where he fatigued. 1 out. At that point, it was 13-3. Yeah, I think you would have had to have a 20 mule team to drag Gibson off the mound at that point. Would that be unrealistic in the modern era? Of course. But in 1966, I'm fairly confident that's how they would have played it, and nice to see everybody agreed. Yeah, exactly, man. I don't think he cared about his ERA. The problem is, see, I do. I mean, I guess I shouldn't worry about it that much, but to me, hell, I want to see Bob Gibson finish the league in the top 10 in ERA. Of course I do. Because I'm a stats nut, and I kind of think anybody playing Strat-O-Matic probably is too. And that's true, Bob. Yeah, 1966. The age of the complete game. All right, where the hell did my pitchers go? Here they are. Hello, Mike C. Excellent, Mike. We have you on hand, so I won't have to worry quite as much about screwing up the double switches today, huh? Anyway, it is a Monday, oh boy, and it's a hot one. 94 currently in Spokane, on our way to a high of 97, they say. Very comfortable in the apartment. Although I did fire up the air conditioner for the first time this year. Interesting, Ben. Thank you for the research. I love it. I love it when you guys throw in the research. Yeah, I think they cared more about the wins, Bob, than the stats. I've heard many of the better pitchers of that era say, I became a better pitcher when I learned how to give up the run to get the win. And when I was young, I didn't know what that meant, but now I do. Let's take a look at these pitchers' stats on the season, and we'll get going today. Rickert, 5-6 with a 3.75 ERA. He's made 13 starts and completed 4 of them. In 98 in the third innings, just 77 hits allowed. He does tend to walk a few, 33. And he has 78 strikeouts, 14 homers allowed. For Jim Palmer, 7-2 with a 4.32. God, I'm having trouble seeing today. Let's tilt that in a little. Oh, that's better. 10 starts, excuse me, that's not correct. 10 starts, 2 complete games, just 56 hits allowed in 73 innings. 38 walks, 58 strikeouts. In art imitating life, of course, Palmer's given up 12 home runs in 73 innings. Palmer, like contemporaries Catfish Hunter and Don Sutton, gave up a lot of home runs. Of course, in real life, most of them were with nobody on base. Unfortunately, Strat-O-Matic cannot replicate that. That's one of the things that we deal with, one of the flaws in the game. Taking nothing away from the game, it's a great game. Pretty good crowd on hand. There's Michael Reimer. Hey, Michael. Yeah, he did his underwear commercials. Okay, here's Washington's lineup. Don Blasingame at second base leads it off. Fred Valentine is in center field. Jim King will be in right field. Frank Howard in left in his customary cleanup spot. Bob Chance gets the start at first base. Bob Savarin at third base. Paul Casanova will do the catching with Eddie Brinkman at shortstop. And Pete Rickert, the pitcher, of course, hitting ninth. And that covers just about everything, I think. Except, of course, for the standings. Baltimore with the best record in the majors at 35-15. That gives them a current lead of 2.5 games over the Minnesota Twins. The Senators are in 7th place at 24-28, 12 games behind Baltimore. So on paper, it would appear to be kind of a mismatch. But you never know till you start rolling the dice, do you? So let's get going. Hello, Unmitigated. Oh, wow. Was he hurt that year or something, Unmitigated? I only have the 68 set on the Windows version of the game. Now you've got my curiosity piqued. I got to take a look here. 68 AL. Wow, there's no Jim Palmer. So he must have been injured all season, huh? Well, you learn something every day. Oh, no, he was in AAA. Seriously? Thank you, Ben. Injured. After pitching 2 seasons, I had trouble believing they'd send him down to the minors. Anyway, let's get the game started. We're already running a bit late today. Not that that's an issue for me. I'm not going anywhere. 97 outside. Here's Don Blasingame to lead it off. He's hitting .235. No home runs, just 2 RBIs. Left-handed hitting infielder. Palmer into the windup. That's going to be a 4-8 left-handed. Fly to center. That's going to be playable for Paul Blair, who puts it away, and we're off. Oh, so he actually was in Rochester. Wow. Good stuff, guys. Thank you. Here's Fred Valentine hitting .293. 7 home runs, 19 RBIs. Switch hitter hitting left-handed. The pitch from Jim Palmer's a 5-2. It's a grounder to second. Davey Johnson has it. Flips it to Bob Johnson. And there's 2 down quickly in the first. Here's the right fielder, Jim King. .261 average. Team leading 9 home runs. And a team leading 24 RBIs in just 119 at-bats. Palmer's pitch to King is going to be a 4-5 lefty. Grounder to shortstop X. That'll be the Gold Glover Aparicio there. 1/18. Aparicio charging it on a 16. He's got it. Throws him on the run. Throws him out on the run, I should say. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Palmer. So after a half an inning, it's Washington 0. Baltimore coming to bat against Pete Rickert. That's why I love doing them, Ben. What an added bonus for me, really. Seems like I learn something here every day. I forgot about the money store, Michael. Thank you for that tidbit. Here's the Orioles lineup. Same as the last game, in fact, against McCormick. It's Aparicio at shortstop, Bob Johnson at first base, Frank Robinson in right field, Brooks Robinson at third base, Sam Bowens hits 5th and plays left field, Davey Johnson at second, Paul Blair in center, Andy Etchebarren behind the dish, and Palmer. Another one pitcher with end power. We just had one in Pappas. They aren't that common, actually. What is wrong with these glasses today? Holy crap. I mean, like, that's right, blame the glasses. It's the poor worker who blames his shoddy tools arrested development. Not many people I know have seen that. Anyway. Here's Aparicio to start off the bottom of the second. Luis hitting .242, 2 homers, 23 RBIs. Rickert gets the sign from Casanova. Comes in there with a 2-6 left-handed. Aparicio promptly drives it up the middle and into center field for a single. Leadoff single for Aparicio. Good speed on the bases. Let's check the battery. Rickert with a -1 hold. And we have Casanova with a -1 arm. So a -2 battery, 15. They're going to hold him on at 13. That's a tough one. 1 to 3 we try for it. 4 we don't try for it. And here's Bob Johnson. Johnson hitting just .194, no home runs. Rickert out of the stretch. 1-7 is a grounder to the pitcher. Rickert has it, turns around, fires it down to Brinkman for 1 to first, not in time. That's going to be a 1-6 force. You know what, actually, I beg your pardon. What's wrong with this thing now? I'm going to make that a 1-4 force. Doesn't really matter, but more realistic, at least to me. 1 down, here's Frank Robinson now. Robinson at .326 on the year, 17 home runs and 45 RBIs, tracking well in all 3 of the Triple Crown categories. Rickert into the windup. That's going to be a 6-6 right-handed. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. Rickert strikes out Frank Robinson. 2 down, and here's Brooks. Brooks hitting .281, 6 home runs, 38 RBIs. The 38 RBIs, second to Robinson on the team. Second to Frank Robinson, I should specify. Johnson takes his lead. Rickert's pitch is a 6-3 right-handed. It's a grounder to the pitcher X. Rickert at .228. And here's the play. On a 9, it's the E range. An 11 on a 28. That could go either way. Rickert makes the play and throws him out. Nice play, Pete Rickert, to end the inning. The 1-3X side retired, no runs, a hit, 1 left, and we are scoreless after an inning. Just getting underway here on a Monday. Start to the week. Doubleheader in Baltimore. Nothing wrong with that. Fascinating stuff on Palmer. So they didn't even protect him. Wow, this is interesting. I can't believe I didn't know these things. I thought I knew a lot about Jim Palmer, but apparently not. Hello there, Captain Carl. Well, that's not true, Captain Carl. In this replay alone, he won some games, and Hank Bauer was the manager. I'm not sure quite when Weaver came in. Anyway, here's Palmer as we go to the second inning. Frank Howard will lead it off. Howard leads the club in hitting at .294. Just 3 home runs, 22 RBIs for Frank. Palmer into the windup. That's going to be a 6-7 right-handed. It's a grounder to second base X. Tough play for Johnson. Behind the bag, 2E25. Here's the play on a 12, E-range, a 7. On a 25, it's off of his glove for an error. So E4, Howard reaches. Howard, of course, very slow at first base. And here's first baseman Bob Chance. Hang on, sorry guys, let me see what that is. I don't recognize that number, so that's automatic voicemail. Okay. Back to the game. Here's Chance. Chance hasn't played much and hasn't hit much. He's 4 for 29. That's a 138 average. Palmer from the stretch comes in with a 3-5 right-handed, called strike 3. That's home plate umpire Bill Haller ringing him up. And that'll bring up Bob Savarin. Savarin, a switch hitter, hitting left-handed. 236 on the season, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs. Palmer comes in there with a 2-7 right-handed. It's a fly to center field, playable for Blair. He's there, and there's 2 down. Thank you, Michael. That's my cell phone, too, by the way. Boy, if that doesn't give away my age, I don't know what does, right? Always dating myself. Well, you know, it's because I'm the only one that will go out with me. Here's Casanova, the catcher. I'm trying to find his stats. Really struggling with the vision today. Casanova hitting just 173. He does have a pair of home runs and 6 RBIs. Howard takes a modest lead. Palmer comes in with a 6-5 righty and loses him ball 4. 2 out walk to Casanova. Howard reached on an error. The inning should be over. Palmer will face Eddie Brinkman now. Brinkman hitting 245, 2 home runs, 18 RBIs. Palmer checks the runners. The pitch to Brinkman on a 3-11 right-handed. That's going to be a base hit into right field, an open single. Howard could try to score. I doubt if he will. Single to right. Howard 8-10. Frank Robinson +1, 11. You know what? With 2 outs, they're going to send him. Here comes Howard lumbering to the plate. Frank Robinson's throw. He's out by a mile. I'm going to put the 9 in there this time. Something new I've been doing the last couple of games. That ends the inning. No runs, a hit, 2 left. As Frank Howard, well, you got to send him with 2 outs. He didn't have a chance. Thank you, Franklin, Captain Carl, Thomas confirming. So 2 years at Rochester, and then the Earl of Baltimore came up to stay in 1968. At least that's what it sounds like. Alrighty, bottom of the second, Sam Bowens to lead it off. Bowens just 7 for 52. Dead last on the team with a 135 average. He does have a home run. Record into the windup. That's going to be a 3-6 left-handed. Liner right into the glove of Brinkman. Liner to short, 1 down. And here's Davey Johnson. Johnson at 246, 2 home runs, 27 RBIs. Rickards pitches a 5-5 righty, swung on and missed, strike 3. Second strikeout for Rickert. Rickert, a strikeout pitcher. And of course, Rickert would later pitch for Baltimore. Here's Paul Blair with 2 down. Blair at 266, 1 home run, 27 RBIs. Rickert into the windup. It's going to be a 2-9 left-handed grounder to second, routine for Blasingame, who tosses it over to Chance for the 3rd out, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Rickert. 2 innings scoreless here. We go to the 3rd. Got to do my little OCD thing with the score sheet there. Forgive me, please. Here's Rickert to lead off the 3rd. Oh yeah, 94 out. You bet I'm still drinking coffee. Rickert, a left-handed hitter, 2 with N power. Palmer's pitch on a 2-6 struck him out. Second strikeout for Palmer. And here's Blasingame, 0 for 1. Palmer gets the sign. Comes in with a 210 righty. Blasingame lifts it to right. Drifting over is Frank Robinson to make the play. 2 away, and here's Fred Valentine. Valentine's cooled off. Remember, he was the leading hitter in average on the Senators. He's been passed by Howard, albeit not by much. Palmer pitched to Valentine on a 6-8 lefty. He rips one into right field, double to 3. Robinson over to get it, and he'll cut it off, and Valentine will hold with a long single. 2-out single for Fred Valentine. He's got speed. Let's check the Orioles battery. We find Palmer with a poor +4 hold. Echeverrin a 0. So Valentine a 20, held at 18. And even with 2 away, that's just too tempting to resist. He's going to try to roll for it, 3-6. On a 10, he does not get it. And here's Palmer's pitch to Jim King. 5-5 lefty. King goes the other way and lifts it into shallow left. Coming on is Bowens. He's there. And the side is retired. No runs a hit, 1 left. Still scoreless through 2.5. Exactly, Ben. Well, I've been known to send him to the plate with 2 outs as low as 1-8. I may have done a 1-7 once. I don't recall. Probably did at least once, but not very often. Thank you, Thomas. Another update on Weaver. So he actually took over during the 67 season. Bottom of the 3rd, here's Echeverrin. Andy hitting .275, 6 home runs, 20 RBIs. Orioles in their 51st game of the season. Well, we're coming up on the 1/3 mark. Washington in their 53rd game. Rickert's pitch to Echeverrin. 4-8 right-handed. That is hit high and deep to left field. That's going to be over Howard's head for extra bases. And it will be a double for Echeverrin. 4-8 triple to 1, double anything else, and Andy Echeverrin with a leadoff double. That'll bring up Palmer. A 1 righty with N power. He's a C bunter. He squares to bunt. 5C, that'll advance the runner. So Palmer gets down a good bunt. Echeverrin moves over to 3rd. And with Aparicio at the plate, Washington's going to pull the infield in. Echeverrin, a slow runner at 3rd. That pretty much quells any thoughts of a squeeze. Aparicio will swing away. Rickert checks the runner. The full windup. The pitch is a 1-9 lefty. Grounder to short B, and they've got the lead runner. Brinkman comes home, and they nail Echeverrin. That'll go as a 6-2 force. The infield in not only saving a run, but now there's a runner at first and 2 down instead of a runner at third. Here's Bob Johnson, 0 for 1. Rickert with the sign. From the stretch, it's a 4-8 righty, and he hits that one high and deep to left field. Same number, over Howard's head for extra bases, and he's going to get the triple. Oh my God, can you believe it? Triple on a 1. Bob Johnson just rolls the 1. Aparicio all the way around to score, and it's 1-0 Birds. Here comes Frank Robinson now. Casanova paying an early mound visit. Which Robinson would you rather pitch to, Pete? I think it's early to be walking people intentionally. We're going to pitch to Frank. Here's the pitch on a 2-2, and he hits him. We got to roll for it. It's a 6, and he'll take his base. Well, now I can see the rest of that mound conversation, right? Do you want to put Robinson on? Rickert, oh, I'll put him on, all right. Runners at the corners, 2 down. Here's Brooks. Rickert with the pitch. It's a 5-8 right-handed. He lifts it to center, but playable. Valentine is there, and that ends the inning. The Orioles settle for 1 run on 2 hits and leave a pair. After 3 complete, it's 1-0 Orioles. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink of water. All right. There, that's better. I'm kind of wondering if Jalen has entered the chat by any chance. You know, if you're in the chat and haven't spoke up yet, why not make it today? Get right in there. It's a fun group. No judgment. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do me a favor and do that. We're up to 442, I think, now. Inching closer to that magic 500 number. I'm not sure exactly what happens at 500, but I know something does. I'll read up on it more when we get a little closer. We go to the 4th. Frank Howard will lead it off. He led off the 2nd by reaching on an error. Palmer gets the sign from Echeverrin. 5-7 right-handed. He hits that high and deep to center field. Going back is Blair. Double to 5. He's got the double. Leadoff double by Howard. Here's Bob Chance. He struck out in the 2nd. Palmer checks the runner. Pitch to Chance is a 2-8. Called strike 3. Chance rung up for the 2nd time. Not all that surprising when you look at that card, is it? Holy cow, now I got to look at the numbers. 57 at bats. He struck out 23 times. Only 57 at bats. So yeah, how many does he have now? That's interesting, because we may be seeing the end of the line of Dean Chance starting here. Chance came in with 29 at bats. So he has 31 at bats now. One away, and here's Saverin. Palmer checks the runner. Pitch to Saverin. It's 6-8 left-handed, and that's going to drive in a run. Hit hard into right field. Robinson over to cut it off. Double to 3. It's going to be a 2-star single for Saverin, and this game is tied as Howard comes in to score. A lot of base running for Frank Howard today. Thank you, Madden. Appreciate that. That was my goal when I set out, was to try to make the game visible, but try to announce it as a radio so that folks could listen to it without necessarily having to look at it. Because I do that a lot myself. A lot of the stuff I watch on YouTube, I'm actually doing something else. It's more just background entertainment. Okay, one down, runner at first. Here's Casanova. Palmer from the stretch. 1-6 right-handed. Struck him out. That's 4 Ks for Palmer now. 2 down, and Brinkman the batter. Brinkman singled his first time up. Okay, I guess he gets... Pitch there is a 3-10 righty. That's going to be extra bases. That is hit high and deep over Bowen's head. Triple to 14. That's going to be a triple for Brinkman. Holy cow. Saverin all the way around to score. Give an RBI to Brinkman. Second triple of the game. And the triples parade continues. It's uncanny, I'm telling you. Right, Banya Echebarren was forced. Rickert the batter. Runner on third, 2 down. Left-handed hitter. On a 1-8 righty. Struck him out. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Palmer. But the Senators take the lead, and with 2 runs on 3 hits, they leave a man at third base. And they carry a 2-1 lead to the bottom of the 4th. Eddie Brinkman coming up big again for the Senators. Oh, excuse me. Big yawn there. Oh, bottom of the 4th. Here's Bowen's 0 for 1. Rickert gets his sign. The windup and the pitch is a 6-5 righty. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That's the 3rd strikeout for Rickert. And that'll bring up Davey Johnson. Johnson struck out in the 2nd. Here's the pitch to Rickert. 5-4 right-handed is catcher's card X. That's Casanova. Casanova a 2E8. Here's the result of that play on a 13. It's a pop out to the catcher, 2 down. Frank, I am truly humbled. I appreciate that. I kind of wanted to do that when I was a kid. You know what John Lennon said, life is what happens while you're busy making other plans. 2 down, here's Blair. The Hits some record. It's a 5'11" right-handed. It's a fly to left field X. That's going to be a tough chance for Howard. Howard lumbering over to the line, 5E5. On an 18, he's not going to get anywhere near that as it drops for a single. Howard gets it back in. Blair rounds and holds it first. Blair with good speed on the bases. -2 battery makes him a 13. And with Echebarren up, they're not going to hold him. The thinking there is, go ahead and steal. We'll walk Echebarren and pitch to the pitcher. Baltimore, of course, knowing this, will let Echebarren swing away. Here's the pitch on a 4-6 right-hander. He loses him ball 4. So Echebarren ends up walking anyway, intentionally or otherwise. And Palmer will come to bat. First and second, 2 down. One righty with end power. Rickard's pitch is a 4-6 righty, and he loses him, and the bases are loaded. Rickard, a lapse of control here. He walks the pitcher to load him up. And that's going to send Casanova out to the mound. Two quick outs, then a single and 2 walks. Orioles threatening in the bottom of the 4th. Aparicio 1 for 2 standing at the plate. Casanova back behind the dish now, flashing the signs. Rickard into the windup. It's a 6-4 right-handed. It's a hard smash third base X. Tough chance for Savarin, a 4-18. Big play here on a 4. He's not going to get it. That's down the line for extra bases. Here comes Blair to score. They're waving Echebarren in. Palmer will stop at third, and the Orioles retake the lead on a 2-out, 2-run double by Aparicio. Here's Bob Johnson now, who tripled his last time up. Frank Robinson on deck. Rickard taking his time now. Gets the sign. Full windup. The pitch to Johnson is a 6-7. Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That'll do it, but not before the Orioles plate 2 on 2 hits. They leave a pair in scoring position. After 4 innings of play, it's 3-2 Orioles. You're not wrong, Frank. Washington fielding leaves a bit to be desired. You know, having played this set a while, my question is, why didn't they just play lock every day in center field? I mean, I realize Hodges didn't have the Strat-O-Matic cards to look at. But still, it should have been obvious, right? Good game here through 4. Orioles took the lead 1-0. Senators took the lead 2-1 in the 4th. Orioles came right back and reclaimed the lead in the bottom of the inning. Top of the order for Washington, Don Blasingame. Batting left-handed, Palmer with the windup. It's a 6-8 lefty, and that's ripped into right field. Double to 3. It's going to be a long single for Blasingame. And here come the Senators again. In a seesaw battle so far. Here's Valentine. Fred 1 for 2. Palmer out of the stretch. That's a 4-10 left-handed. Grounder down to first to his right. Johnson has it. He goes down to Aparicio for 1. Back to first, not in time. That'll be a 3-6 force. Faster runner aboard. Valentine held at 18. He's going to roll for it again. 3 through 6. 7. He does not get it. Here's Palmer's next pitch to Jim King. On a 5-5 left-handed, King lifts it the other way to left. Bowens is there, and there's 2 down. Valentine's still being held. Here's Frank Howard. 1 for 2 with a double. Palmer with the pitch. That's going to be a 4-7 right-handed. Liner to third. Caught by Brooks Robinson. Single on a 1. That wasn't going to happen. Not with Brooks down there. Washington, no runs, a hit, 1 left. Oh, those bases on balls. How was that, Ben? Here's Rickard. Got about a half inning worth of coffee left. Let's roll it. Heart of the order. The Robinsons and Bowens. Whew. Okay, deep breath. Robinson struck out and then was hit by a pitch in the third. Rickard into the windup. That's going to be a 3-8 left-handed fly to center, playable for Valentine. He's right there to make the grab, and there's 1 away. Here's Brooks now. 0 for 2. Rickard with the windup. That's a 5-8 right-hander. He lifts it to center field. Valentine barely has to move for this one. Squeezes it for out number 2. Well, we'll bring up Bowens. He's 0 for 2. Struck out his last time up. Rickard gets the sign. Comes in there with a 5-3 righty. It's a fly to right field X. Tough chance for King. King, a good outfielder, 2E5. Ranging towards the line on a 7. He makes a nice running catch to retire the side. 1-2-3 inning for Rickard through 5. It's 3-2 Orioles. I would agree with that, Frank. Severin was a decent ball player. I'm going to refill my coffee and then we'll get right back to it. I think Severin even has a card in Strat-O-Matic's ATG set. It's not meant to be literally all-time greats. It started out as all-time great teams, and they just keep adding and adding cards. Okay, Palmer takes the mound for the 6th. Both pitchers today rated 7 for endurance. Let me grab that coffee. I know he wants to say it, but no, I have not opened the Crockett coffee yet. I'm finishing up what I have. It'll stay fresher that way when it's sealed. Okay, here's Chance. Chance struck out both times so far against Palmer. Palmer into the windup. That's going to be a 2-10 right-handed. He hits it, but he hits a high arcing fly ball to left, drifting over his Bowens, and he'll take it for out number 1. So Chance at least hit the ball that time. And here's Severin. Batting left-handed, Severin 1 for 2. The pitch is a 6-8 left-handed. Boy, he's rolled a lot of those 6-8s today. Double to 3. That's going to be a base hit for Severin. That's at least the 3rd 6-8 lefty off of Palmer's card. Severin would be He's not a star stealer, but he'd be a 17 not held. They're going to have to hold him on at 15. Sure, he has that 11 automatic caught. But let's keep in mind that the Senators came into the game with 185 runs scored as a team compared to the Orioles' 283. And with that in mind, he's going to roll for it. Held at 15, needs a 6 or a 7. Out on an 11, and he's out on an 11. Caught stealing. I don't know what he was thinking there. He just broke for second. An easy target for Echeverren. And there's 2 down. Paul Casanova steps to the plate. Now walked and struck out. Palmer's pitch on a 6-6 righty. He walked him. Casanova walks for the second time this afternoon. And here's Brinkman. Brinkman's kind of been the star of the offense for the Senators. 2 for 2 with a triple. Palmer checks the runner. Comes from the stretch to Brinkman on a 5-4 righty. That's going to be a grounder to third base X. That's Brooks, 113. Here's the play on a 19. He's got it. Throws him outside retired. He makes it look easy, doesn't he? 5-3X. No runs a hit, 1 left. So, as Franklin pointed out, not the prettiest Jim Palmer game, but he's got his club ahead, 3-2. Yeah, Frank, that gets me to wondering why Michael hasn't made any cracks about Chance yet. Signed for his glove, is that true? And he's a 4E30. Davey Johnson will lead off the bottom of the 6th. He is 0 for 2. Pete Rickard gets the sign. The pitch is a 4-9 right-handed. It's a high fly ball to deep left field. Back is Howard at the track, at the wall. It's gone. Home run Davey Johnson, and the Orioles have some insurance here in the 6th. For Davey, his 3rd home run of the season on a 4-9 righty. He rolled the 1. Four to 2 the score, and here's Blair. That's actually more like it, Ben. Thank you. I can picture it. I said, what the hell's he doing? Rickards pitched to Blair. 5-4 righty is catcher's card. That's going to be Casanova. Another chance for Paul, a 2E8. Here's the roll on a 20. It's a foul out to the catcher. Here's Echeverren. Doubled and walked. Rickard gets the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 4-3 right-handed. Shallow fly to left. On comes Frank Howard. He's there to make the catch. As much running around as Howard's done today, he's going to need travel pay. And here's Palmer, right-handed hitter, on a 3-7 grounder to second base. Routine for Blassingame. Sidearm toss to Chance, and that'll do it. But Baltimore adds an insurance run on the Davey Johnson homer. And through 6, it's 4-2 Orioles. No real surprises in this game. I try to make a point to announce it as if it isn't a foregone conclusion that the Orioles are miles ahead of the Senators. You think, well, maybe with Pete Rickard. On the other hand, Rickard's card is a bit problematic in that he is so much better against left-handers. He's really very ordinary against righties and gives up a lot of home runs to righties. To the 7th we go, and that means goodbye to Rickard. Rickard will yield for a pinch hitter. He goes 6 innings. He allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, walked 2 and hit a man. Struck out 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, looking at the subs down here. The reason there are so many is in real life, this game went 14 innings. Okay, checking the Senators. They've got a lot of righties coming up. Casey Cox throwing in the Senators' pen. He'll be coming in. Let's see who they're going to send up there. They only have the one catcher. Ken McMullen will be the batter. Exactly, Franklin. McMullen on the season, 221. He does have 7 home runs. Tied for second on the club and 20 RBIs. Palmer gets the sign. The pitch to McMullen. It's going to be a 4-6 right-handed, and he walks him. Leadoff walk. Remember, this is Palmer's first inning of potential fatigue. McMullen, not very quick on the bases. They trail by 2. His run doesn't mean that much. Bunting situation for Blasingame, but again, they trail by 2. Blasingame will hit away. Palmer out of the stretch. Pitch to the lefties, a 5-8. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Palmer overpowers Blasingame with a high fastball. 1 away, and here's Valentine. Valentine 1 for 3. Palmer gets the sign from the stretch. It's a 5-5 left-handed. Valentine lifts it to left field, playable for Bowens, and that's 2 away. Here's King. Frank Howard on deck. King 0 for 3 on the day. Palmer stares in to get the sign. Here's the pitch. On a 1-4 righty. Comebacker to Palmer. He knocks it down, picks it up, and tosses it to Johnson to retire the side. No runs, no hits, 1 left. As we go to stretch, it is 4-2 Orioles. When we come back, Casey Cox will take the mound. We're going to take a slightly longer break. Yes, we're going to fire up the Mookie cam. Not much to see, I'm afraid. In fact, if I told you can guess where he is, well, you probably can. There he is, sacked out. I'll try to go around. I'm going to need a quick restroom break too. Now let's check on the Mook. Mookie, hello. Yeah? Say hello. Meow. Meow. Go away, he says. I'm napping. That's right, show your face. Meow, meow. Not much action out of Mookie today. Temperature holding at 73 indoors. I turned off the AC for the game. Pretty much have to. It would be way too loud. I shall return. Okay, and we are back. Boy, the signs of summer. Ran the AC for the first time today. Last night I made my first pitcher of iced tea for the year. After this cup of coffee, that's what I'll be going to. Yeah, Frank, I had a rough night sleeping myself. I normally sleep well, but about once a week, I'll have one of those rough nights. Yeah, I don't know, Ben. I mean, it's a pleasant 73 inside. It's funny how he has his favorite spots. He'll stay there for a while, and then he'll switch. Okay, here's Cox. Let's check his numbers. Cox, despite the 2-5 record, having a pretty good season. He has a 3.49 ERA. Facing Aparicio's 2 for 3. Cox into the windup. That's going to be a 2-3 righty. He bangs that the other way into right field for a single, his third hit of the day. Cox with a poor hold now, +3, -1 catcher. So 19 held at 17 for Aparicio. With Johnson at the plate, he's going to roll for it. 2 through 5, 11 or 12. 9, he does not get it. And here's the pitch to Bob Johnson. On a 3-10 righty, it's a grounder to second. Blasted game to his left, only play is to first, and Aparicio will take second on the play. So Aparicio in scoring position with 2 down. Baltimore trying for another insurance run here in the 7th, and the heart of the order coming up. That's true, Frank. Yep. In the winter, he tends to go to the tree more. Or on top of the cabinets. There's David Cadwallader. Personally, I love the heat. Just keep it under 100. I'm good. Of course, there's a dry heat and a humid heat. I'm not a fan of humidity. Fortunately, it's dry here. Runner at second, one out. Here's Frank. They really should put him on here. Set up the double play. Brooks, however, on this card does not, yeah, he does actually. 12, 17, looks like about 18. That's what they're going to do. I can hear the boos. But from Washington's standpoint, this is the play. It's going to be 4 wide ones to Frank Robinson. And Casey Cox will try to coax a ground ball out of Brooks. Runners take their lead. Cox the full windup. That's going to be a 2-7 righty. He lifts it to center, playable for Valentine. Makes the catch, and the runners retreat to their bases. Bowens is going to go ahead and bat and stay in the game in left. Cox's pitch is a 1-6. It's a grounder to third base. Savarin has it, throws him out, and that'll do it for the 7th. No runs, a hit, 2 left on. So the Washington strategy works. I was the opposite, David. I hated the heat when I was young. I moved to Phoenix 1982. By the summer of 83, I was gone. Jim Palmer in his second endurance inning here. Let's check the Orioles defense. Bowens is good in left. Only one I might replace is Bob Johnson. And we will. Powell a little bit better at first. So Boog Powell will come in and take over at first base. Blair already in center. That's a move I make pretty commonly. He's already in the lineup. Powell a 3-17. 9 running. Is that so, Frank? Well, I certainly hope not. You know, I have a cousin in Sarasota. I've mentioned that before. In fact, he'll be here in August. Looking forward to seeing him. Frank Howard will lead off the 8th in a 4-2 ball game. Palmer gets the sign. Here's the pitch on a 5-5 righty. He lifts it to right field, playable for Frank Robinson. Makes the catch, and there's one away. Here is Chance. Is it really going to be Chance? Can't we do a little bit better than that? I think we can. It's the 8th inning. It's pinch hitting time. Dick Nen will come in and hit for Chance. He'll take over at first. Much better fielder, too. Nen's numbers on the season, however, Nothing to get excited about. He's hitting just 191. He does have 2 homers and 15 RBIs. Here's the pitch from Palmer. It's a 6-5 lefty, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Nen or Chance made no difference to Palmer. He strikes him out. 2 down, and here's Savern. Palmer into the windup. It's going to be a 1-4 righty, and he loses him ball 4. 2 out walk to Savern. That'll bring up Casanova, who's walked twice, struck out the other time. Action in the Baltimore pen. You guessed it, Stu Miller throwing. Yikes. It's all fun and games until somebody puts out an eye, Frank. Here's Palmer's pitch to Casanova. It's a 5-9 right-handed, swung on and missed, strike 3. Let's add them up now. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 strikeouts for Palmer. Down goes the Senators in the 8th. No runs, no hits, a man left. 4-2 to the bottom of the 8th. Thank you everybody for watching today. I do appreciate it. I don't have to tell you that, but you know what? I will anyway. How about a cold one, Clark? Now you're talking, Eddie. Davey Johnson in the bottom of the 8th. Johnson 1 for 3 with a home run. Casey Cox into the windup. That's a 2-6 right-handed base hit up the middle. Davey Johnson's second hit of the ball game. 15 not held. He's got that 9 automatic caught. They won't hold him. And the batter will be Blair. Cox from the stretch. Pitch to Blair is a 4-4 righty. It's a grounder to short X. That's Brinkman. This could be 2. Brinkman a 2E29. Brinkman to his left on a 12. E-range 10 on a 29. He's got it. Goes to Blassen game for 1. On to Nen, double play. Nice play, Brinkman. Washington trying to keep it close. Here's Echeverria with 2 down. Cox into the windup. 5-7 righty. That's banged into left center for a base hit. Double to 6. It's going to be another double for Echeverria, his second of the game. That double play looming large now. And looking for insurance with Miller ready. Baltimore's going to hit for Palmer. Youngster gave him 8-5 innings. Stu Miller is ready in the pen. Miller, of course, leads the team in saves with 11, also among the league leaders in that category. And Kurt Blefary is announced. Palmer in 8 innings of work, 2, 5, 6, 7 hits. 2 runs. He walked 1, 2, 3, 4 and struck out 8. Runner in scoring position, left-handed Blefary at the plate. Aparicio on deck, but he has 3 hits today. Let's see if Washington can do anything. They're going to stick with Cox. Here's the pitch to Kurt Blefary. It's a 4-10 left-handed grounder to first. Nen will take it himself, and that'll do it. No runs, 2 hits, a man left. And we go to the 9th. On comes Stu Miller. 2-1 with 11 saves and 18 appearances. He's been anything but automatic, though, with a 4.24 ERA so far. Brinkman, the pitcher's spot, and Blasingame due for the Senators. Not a lot on the bench either. Kirkland and Locke. Hamlin's not much of a hitter. Yes, Franklin, still some drama. Yes, and Frank knows all about Mike Tyson. Here's Brinkman, 2 for 3. Stu Miller getting the sign from Echeverren. Here's the windup and the pitch on a 2-5 righty. Struck him out. Now we'll have a hitter. Locke or Kirkland? They're going to go with Locke. We were just talking about Locke earlier. Both men batted as a pinch hitter in real life in this game. Of course, who didn't? The real life game went 14 innings. Locke just 226 on the season, but 6 home runs. Miller gets the sign. The pitch to Locke is a 2-7 righty, and he walks him, and the tying run will come to the plate. Still some drama. Blasingame, the other infielder. They could hit with Kirkland. Valentine and King. That's what they're going to do. They're going to bring on Willie Kirkland to pinch hit for Blasingame. Hamlin could play second if needed. A lot of moves in this one. Kirkland, not a lot of on base, but he has some punch. He's just 3 for 25. One of those 3 hits a home run. That's about right, a 120 average. Well, actually, he's probably a little better than that, but not much. Unmitigated, we've discussed that, but the problem is, well, I'll get to that after the game. I have some thoughts. Runner at first, 1 away. Runner at first is Locke. No threat to steal, but a pretty good base runner. Kirkland, a left-handed hitter at the plate. Miller from the stretch. The pitch to Kirkland is a 6'4 lefty. It's a fly to center field X. Tough chance for Blair. Blair going back on the ball, 2E5. Here's the play on a 19. He's there to track it down. What a catch by Paul Blair. He had to go a ways for that one, but he hauled it in. And the Senators are down to their last out. Probably their best player this season, Fred Valentine at the plate. Valentine, of course, represents the tying run. Locke takes a lead from first. Miller with the pitch. It's a 1-7 right-handed fly to center. That's playable for Blair, and that's going to do it. That's the ball game. No runs, no hits, a man left. 4-2 is the final. I'll have the totals for you in a moment. Yeah, unmitigated. The problem with that I can see would be taking all the cards out of their teams and having to put them all back. That's way more work than I'm willing to undertake. Plus, with some of these players playing for more than one team, there's an excellent chance I'd put somebody back in the wrong team. But I did have this thought. I'm not saying I'm going to do it, but what if I did the All-Star game on the Windows version? Then I could just drag the players and it wouldn't matter. I wouldn't have to put them back. In other words, I'd copy them, create 2 new teams. You get the picture. Okay, 4-2 Orioles. Palmer with the win improves to 8-2 on the season. Miller with the save, his 12th. Pete Rickard pitched pretty well, but he'll take the loss and drop to 5-7. Casey Cox with 2 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk, it was intentional, and no strikeouts. Baltimore wins with 4 runs, 9 hits, 1 error. For Washington, 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors. I forgot to put Miller's inning in there. He walked 1, struck out 1. Franklin likes Aparicio for player of the game. 3 for 4. A run and 2 RBIs. And he had the 2 RBIs that put him ahead for good. Yeah, that works for me. Chief Spokane Gary, player of the game, Luis Aparicio. Tomorrow we'll finish this doubleheader. No game on Wednesday. That's the day the pest control is coming. And here's something that's weird. I mean, it is what it is. All they can give me for Wednesday is they'll be there sometime between 8 and 5. Now, when they came 2 weeks ago, they told me they'd be here between 3 and 4. Now they can't narrow it down? 8 and 5? That sounds like the kind of time frame the cable guy gives you. Hello, Al. Welcome. Glad you enjoyed it, Al. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Same teams tomorrow. It will be Jim Hannon getting a spot start for Washington against Steve Barber for Baltimore. Same time, 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. I have another league series to play today. I'm going to go get ready for that. So I want to thank everybody once again for hanging out with me. Please join me tomorrow. Hit that like and subscribe. Spokane Steve wishing each and every one of you a pleasant